welcome back to In the Studio, episode 11, part 2. We've got the same panel, but we have a new guest joining us remotely. We've got Winter on the horn. Winter, buddy, how you doing?
What's up? How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for asking, buddy. Glad you could call in. And I know it's late where you are, so thank you for making some time for us.
Yeah, it's like it's gonna be early soon.
It's 3 a.m. Winter. It's like afternoon for you,
This is
basically.
typical winter comebacks,
Yeah.
you know.
He was staying
And
up until like 8 a.m. when we were casting together for a while. This is nothing for Winter.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'm getting used to another time zone.
Uh-oh.
That's good. That's good.
You gotta get used to ours, Winter. You need to stay up for at least another 12 hours.
But the time zone I'm practicing is like 6 hours behind me, so it's 9 p.m. technically for me now.
Yeesh.
Wow.
Oh,
So you can't go to bed yet then, is what
Rough
you're
life.
saying.
Yeah, I can't. I need to tank another 2 hours.
Okay.
All right. Well, this second part is all about the TI format. So, Winter, I guess we'll get your first kind of macroscopic perspective. What do you think? Do you like this format with the multiple phases of the play-in and the group stages and into the main event overall? Are you happy with this year's format?
I actually prefer the old one, to be honest.
Well, we
Really?
should probably show the... Okay, here we go.
Okay, yeah, here we go. So the basic rundown is we had the qualifiers first, May 12th through 27th, and of course that has been completed. Now we move into Stage 2, which are the playoffs, and first up in that stage, Phase 1 is the play-in tourney. Those are the runner-up teams, the 4 Team Liquid, Virtus Pro, CIS, and MVP Phoenix. They'll fight it out in a 4-team single elimination bracket, all best of 3s, and only one team will advance to the main event. After that, we'll move into group stages with those 16 teams. The top 2 will move on forward into the main event. The bottom 6 will be straight up eliminated, and the middle 8 move on to a third phase of playoffs. And that third phase is basically 2 sets of bubble brackets, and they'll fight it off or fight it out until there are only 2 teams remaining. Is that right? 1 from each bracket?
No, it's only the losers of match D that are eliminated, and there's 2 of these.
Oh, okay.
Match
So-
A and D, yeah.
Only match E and D are eliminated. So, how many teams move on in the double bubbles?
No. And E to
A
E
and
is,
D.
loser of E is not eliminated. They go
A
to the
and
lower
D.
bracket.
A
Oh.
and D.
Yeah,
A and D,
so
so-
these are both like, there's 2 of the same thing, basically. They
Yes.
split the teams, the bottom 8 teams get split in half,
Yes.
basically. And
So
then,
2 more teams knocked out.
Yeah.
So
One
2
from
more
each
teams.
A total of 2 teams knocked out, but 1 from each of these little brackets.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
The other games are like seeding matches, basically.
4 teams start in the lower bracket, and the 2 winners of each, the single winner of each bracket starts in the winner bracket with the 2 teams from the group stage. So
Mhm.
these 2 teams start in the winner bracket, I believe. Yeah,
Not
main
as
event
confusing
upper
as it
bracket.
sounds.
Yep. And then at the very end, we've got 8 teams left, and of course that is the main event, the double elimination, all best of 3 until the grand finals in the Key Arena, which will be a best of 5. So at least we've gotten one thing that we wanted. We were all very cynical about the best of 1 eliminations in last year's format, so here we have best of 3s in the actual brackets, which is, I
But
think,
as
a
a
big
result,
improvement.
less second chances, so...
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I mean, some teams don't need to get extra pounding after the group stages, I think, so...
I think the
Yeah.
biggest frustration I've seen, K-Pop Toasters brought this up the other night, but I actually heard it from some players, is their family wanted to go see them at Key Arena, and Valve just announced the format long after teams had qualified, long after people have booked their trips. Like, I think it's fine to have this format, but the way that they announced it so late, that people
Yeah.
are going to be hugely disappointed who expect their favorite teams to be on the main stage and are not. I actually prefer this format, but what I don't like is Valve announcing it this close to the event when trips have already been arranged.
So families might come in without
Not just
without watching.
family, but I mean the bigger number of people is going to be fans of teams. Let's say Navi doesn't make it to the main event. People bought their tickets because they expected to see Navi on the main stage and they don't get it, or whatever the case may be, NAR or Navi NA.
Well, if you look at it this way, if they did it like that and people say like, oh, maybe I'm not so confident in Navi winning this year, then they don't come and they don't buy the tickets. So
It's too late.
it
They
could
bought their
be-
tickets before the
I
event.
mean, if Valve did it the other way.
Oh,
so,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
they could lose sales. And you mentioned earlier, everyone likes money.
I don't think announcing
Valve,
the event's going
Valve
to sell out
more
regardless.
than Valve really like looking after their viewer
Yeah,
base and
that's
their
true.
community. So Valve, I think it was a slight oversight on their
Maybe, yeah.
their end that they didn't quite.
There's a lot of
realize.
things to plan for this year's TI.
Yeah,
I think even Key
Valve have a
Arena's
lot going
dates, a
on.
lot of people are complaining. Grand finals on Monday. Can't be helped, I think, because Key Arena, very tight schedule, and that was the only time slot, I think, that you could get.
The whole TI planning process this year seems to me like they they either found out that they could get Key Arena fairly late in the game, or they didn't know for sure if they could, so they didn't start making plans assuming they'd be at Key Arena until a bit late. And then there was the whole ripple effect where we had tournaments like ESL kind of squeezed MLG a bit. Our tournament was originally supposed to be in the middle of July, had to be moved up to June because of the change in TI dates. So there was this ripple effect. Obviously, TI is the behemoth in the room, and anytime something for TI changes, there's a huge repercussions for the rest of the scene.
Yeah, MLG really got the short end of the stick on that one. They pulled the plug on Dota, or for this
For
event
now,
at least,
at least.
for Anaheim. Yeah, it was originally scheduled, and there's no Dota.
And they haven't been doing online content for Dota either, so there's basically, like, pull the plug on Dota is not a stretch, I feel.
MLG
Right
kind of just goes where the money,
is.
though.
Yeah.
Like they actually do that. We joke about Valve liking money, but Valve also love their community and very appreciative of their view base. But MLG's been known to just drop a game once it.
Hey, MLG love their
It's when it suits
communities.
them.
They just change the communities that they love rather frequently.
Yeah. Remember when Adam was posting on
You know.
Reddit every day and everybody loved Adam? Who's heard from Adam in a while? I mean, I love Adam. Look,
He doesn't
I'm
have
not
anything
trying
to
flame
talk
him.
about, to
Yeah,
be fair,
exactly.
man. Like,
He hasn't got anything to talk about. Like
Yeah.
the guy is great. Like I got along with him really well and all. But it's like
announcing MLG
do what
is not
suits your
doing anything
business.
Dota for the next 5 months. Let's
Yeah.
talk about us not doing Dota. For
That'll get you some Reddit hate
Adam
right
was
there.
was the Dota 2
Political
Reddit
correctness.
Dota 2 / Dota 2's like favorite community person for a while. But
He still would be probably if they came back. But
Yeah.
He's
I
good
agree.
at playing the Reddit game, that's for sure. But I like this format overall. It's maybe a little bit complex, as Lysander said. It looks scarier than it is once you kind of break it down and understand what the phases are all about. It's not that bad, but I'm kind of a proponent of sometimes simple is better, just so fans are watching and they actually know what the hell is going on.
Like win, go home, lose, never mind.
And that's why I
you
like
know,
just straight up
stuff like
single
that.
limb brackets, as we've talked about, a very underutilized format, and maybe not appropriate for TI, but I don't know. Winter, what do you think? You said you liked last year's format better. What in particular do you not like about TI4's format?
I like it that everyone gets a chance to play at the main stage. That's the main thing. And even if you lose all your group games, you're still gonna be having an equal chance as any other team to win the championship. That's the main reason I like about the
Okay.
old format.
So you don't like the group stage elimination?
It's
Is that the
you
big
know,
thing?
Some teams come from so far away, and you don't get to play at the stage. It's pretty disappointing.
especially 6 teams. That's a lot to eliminate just from the first stage.
like 2 to 4. 6 is a very high number to be eliminated before the main stage.
Is the group stages
Well,
like
8
BO2?
get eliminated before like
is
the
it
final.
BO2
but yeah.
or it's just one game?
It's
do you know?
BO1 in the
Group
prelims.
stage.
Yeah. So you play
What?
every team in a BO1. It's no longer 2 groups of 8. It's 1 group of 16.
So something like
Okay.
WPC, they had one thing
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
where we have all the teams playing one time against each other. I think
Yep.
twice. They did twice, but it's more or less the same. But best of ones are fun because that's where you get the cheese, the ages at
Fun for
minute
some.
1.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the other side of the coin. You've gotten to play every team once. If you perform that poorly in the group stage that you're in this bottom list of teams, and the first team, it's how many teams are eliminated? 6 before you get to the bubble brackets. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then 2 more from the bubble
Yeah,
brackets.
the bubble brackets is best of 3. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you I think 6 is maybe too high of a number, but like there's some teams that just perform so poorly in the group stage. And the other thing is not every team qualifies for TI. That's where I feel some teams should be eliminated from the group stage.
Yeah.
You've already been invited to TI based on performance. You haven't earned your spot there technically. Like you didn't have to win the qualifiers the way that Arrow Gaming did, the way that LGD did. You were invited. And not to say they're not deserving, but they didn't have to work that hard to get there. They're already getting a free trip to Seattle. They may be getting guaranteed prize money depending on how Valve splits up the pool. And I imagine with all the communities pushing for every team to get something, every team probably will. They're already getting a lot just for being good enough at the right time, being hot at the right time to get an invite.
Yeah, and for the teams,
How much more should they
For
get?
the teams, it's not just 4 days. They're there since the group stages, so it's actually a few weeks actually.
Yeah.
So
It's a long
it's
vacation.
a paid vacation. A lot of people don't have this kind of chances.
Maybe
to
this isn't, I guess my point is, maybe this isn't the right way to eliminate the teams. Maybe there should be more playoff matches before teams go out, but I don't think every team should be on the main stage. There are a lot of
Yeah.
one-sided stomps, and I don't actually think that's a great experience for the teams. I mean, if you just get crushed on the main stage,
You have a lot of
that's
negative
humiliating.
news.
There's so many.
And
Yeah.
Valve now have 3 TIs of research and data there to look at, and they can see that all the teams who did poorly in the group stage, finished bottom, never did well. They never made a run through the lower bracket. There's one or two teams who maybe made a run through the lower bracket, but they didn't finish at the bottom of the group stage. They finished just barely in the lower bracket, like eHome back at TI4,
Even Liquid.
for example.
Liquid was pretty close to
Yes,
finishing in the top 8.
They were like 1 win away from being in the winner bracket at the start. So all the teams that have done okay in the loser bracket were not like bottom 4. So I think if you look at the bottom 4 teams from group stage of past TIs, they always got knocked out in either the first round or the second round. They never made it to top 8.
Yeah,
as
if
far
you
as I
get
can
wrecked by
recall.
everyone in the group, then well,
So, I mean, Winter, do you feel like, let's say you get your game on the main stage, but you just get stomped and crushed. You lose like 15 minutes or something. You would still rather have that experience than not getting to play on the main stage at all? You think it's still a really good experience?
Yeah, of course, for newer players. But there's also another reason. Like, if you do very badly in the group stage and you don't get a second chance to come back. Like, some teams, if they mess up really bad in the group stage, you get to, if it's the old format, you get to go back and analyze your games. You start from the loser bracket, too bad, but you find out what's wrong and you fix things and you adjust your draft and you still have a shot instead of just straight out getting knocked out of the event.
So your feeling is that some teams maybe start out slow but are better at adapting to their opponents, and thus this format hurts those kinds of teams? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Why do teams deserve another shot? Like the group stage is your first shot. How many shots did teams need? Like why do you think teams need another shot?
It's hard to come up with a reason, but I think overall the stronger teams will always benefit from having like more rounds in the tournament. Like if it's only one chance, you get cheese and you lose, and you get knocked out of the event.
You have 15 games though. Like
it's all BO1.
yeah, but 15 BO1s. You can get cheese
if you
15
get
times.
cheesed 15 times.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean,
Like-
the problem with best of ones is the
And-
coin flip, right? To choosing side, choosing first pick.
A
That's
little bit.
a
Dota's really not a
still-
BO1
still-
game.
I still
Yeah,
think
It
there's
is
a
a
lot
BO2 or BO3 game.
I still think it's a lot of things that can happen that can go wrongly in
Yeah,
BO1s.
tilt is a big problem, I think. Tilt
But
will be a big
If
problem.
it's like 2 teams getting knocked out, I'm okay, but it's 6, right?
Yeah, so you're okay with the idea of teams getting knocked out from group stage. It's just how many get knocked out.
Yeah, it's just too many. Like, it's a
Okay.
huge risk.
I can get behind. 6 does seem like kind of a lot based
Yeah.
on just best of ones.
Okay, maybe 4 is.
I think 4 would have been okay
acceptable.
with it.
The group
Yeah.
stage should matter, and that's the problem the past TIs have had is it didn't matter enough for the amount of games that were played, the amount of time that was invested in, by the teams in preparing for these. End of the day, it doesn't matter if you finish first or fourth, or I guess there were 2 groups of 8, so first or fourth. If you finish
If you're in the
top
winner
half
bracket,
or bottom
you're
half,
fine.
that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Especially with the team that was first getting to choose their opponents, because if you finished 4th, but like teams knew you were better than that, then the team who's first from the other group wasn't going to choose you. Because I think it was Navi who finished 4th one year, but the other team wasn't. They weren't going to get chosen. Like,
Yeah, first place chose somebody else.
yeah,
believe.
I think that was at least back in TI2. I think Navi finished 4th in Group B, and LGD finished 1st in their group. And they're like, we're not choosing Navi. We're not versing Navi, even though they finished 4th. And then they chose, I think it was like Complexity instead or something. So. It's definitely a case where whether you're 1st or 4th, like the group stage in the past wasn't that big of a
No,
deal.
they chose us.
Oh, they
That's
chose
the
Oh, they
Right,
chose
right,
Orange.
yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Over Navi, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though we were 3rd and they were 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again with the bubble format, teams will be placed in the bracket for the actual main event, starting in either the losers bracket or the winners bracket, or upper and lower, depending on how politically correct you want to be. Any thoughts about that? Do you guys like the idea of people being seeded into the lower bracket? Is that an issue for anyone, or?
I mean, Valve want to strike that balance, right? They want to have as many teams who kind of have a shot and deserve to be at the main event as possible, but they also want to reward teams for their performance in the earlier stages of the event. The problem with the previous format was it didn't reward your group stage performance enough, so there wasn't that much incentive to kick ass in the group stage. Basically, you just want to finish top 4. Anything else is a luxury in your group of 8. But now you have to win every single game. So the group stage games will be a lot more tense, a lot more exciting. Teams that already know they're going to finish in the top half aren't going to stop there. They're going to keep on playing because you want to finish top 2.
There also won't be this issue of you feeding the game off so that you get weaker opponents into the game. It's like tactical feeding.
There is potential issue. Like, what if you're already going to be knocked out? Like, you get to your last match and you're guaranteed to be in the bottom 6, and you're versing a team who's kind of borderline. You're not going to take that match seriously. If you're knocked out, your team's already demoralized.
Yeah.
You're maybe going to do some experimental picks.
Or what if somehow Navi NA and Navi are involved together, or e.g. an alliance.
Yeah.
Not to accuse them of impropriety, I don't think they would cheat, but people are going to be very suspicious if anything goes unexpectedly and those teams are involved.
Yeah, there's a very high chance you'll have matches in the last round of group stage matches or the second to last where there's teams who... It's going to be when you get to the third to fourth last round where you know which teams are going to be knocked out. At least one or two who... There's going to be one or two teams who have 0-1 wins, and their last few matches, they're not going to take as seriously.
Yeah, I mean, this... Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry, go ahead.
I said this collusion idea has come up in a couple of past episodes where nothing really too suspicious has happened in the Dota realm, but as things continue to grow, there's always that possibility that is a smaller amount of people own a larger share of the teams or have control. Those issues actually become a little bit scary. And what is the point where that's a problem?
I don't think collusion. I think that's going way too far. Collusion's not the problem. It's just end of the day, a team who's going to be knocked out, and not taking a match seriously. It's not even about collusion. It's just about the teams.
Yeah, it's
well,
more like, why do I
not-
want to make it so hard on you?
I'm not worried about it happening. The
Yeah,
point is
yeah.
people are going to bring it up if those teams are involved together. Doesn't matter if it's true or not.
Yes.
But I want to pick Winter's brain a bit more. Winter, I don't think it's a big secret that you've been working with Alliance closely. You're going to be coaching them, I believe, coming up for ESL as well as TI. Is that correct? Is that confirmed?
It is now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
I don't
be
think it's a
going-
big secret. You tweeted
Yeah.
about it. Gods has tweeted about it.
If it's on Twitter, it's
be-
public. That's it.
Yeah, I'll be going to their bootcamp soon. I was actually supposed to go for DreamHack, but my US visa didn't got done in time, so I couldn't go that early. But I was watching their games and talking to them on Skype
So
during the games.
as a coach, how does this new format affect your approach? Do you have a new sense of urgency with the team? I don't know your exact relationship with the players, but like how does it change what you would otherwise do as a coach? This format versus the old one.
Not really. You
No?
still want to win all your games. You don't care
Okay.
about anything.
No extra
don't think- you
importance.
don't-
No,
you
like
don't
let's
think-
come up with a few more pocket strats kind of thing.
They have their own strats.
Yeah.
I'm just there to help them, like maybe adjust, improve on, like just put in another opinion onto their strats and stuff.
Okay. So you're another voice at the table, basically.
Yeah, I'm more like I'm looking at things at a different angle.
So,
And
are they
yeah.
stronger now, or are they stronger during TI3? Do you think?
I think they're getting a lot stronger. That much is clear.
I think they're still not at their strongest point. At TI3, they were really at their peak.
Okay.
How has it been for you transitioning from player/caster into more of a coaching role, Winter? Obviously, the biggest thing is you're not in the limelight now. You're kind of behind the scenes, the man behind the curtains. Has it been a hard adjustment for you as a personality?
I think coaching and casting is about the same thing. I feel like I'm doing like the same sort of job because I watch the games and I tell them what I think about the games.
All right. Well,
Sounds simple, man.
Yeah, it's
Well,
just
okay.
to a group.
It's not
or
it's not complicated really.
yeah,
Yeah.
to the stream.
okay.
That's why he likes casting, because it's free research, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, you got me.
Spy.
He should be paying us. to
He was
cast
like,
with
I'll
us.
cast the LD. I'm like, oh, so you want to do some research while cast the LD? He's like, yeah. That's it.
Getting my homework done.
Efficiency, man, making Merlini proud.
That's two birds with one stone.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. So, anything else we have for Winter? We have one more surprise guest we need to get in before we wrap our second part. So,
I'm done with Winter.
you're done with Winter. Winter, anything else you
We're
want to
done.
add?
Please no ladder anxiety.
Please
No
what?
ladder anxiety.
Oh,
Godzilla.
Look.
He's closing in on the leaderboards and he's getting nervous.
One win.
Yay.
One win.
uh-oh.
One.
Or it could be
This
more
next
than one
next-
if you start losing.
Yeah.
I just have this sense that a big 10-game lose streak is coming.
I'll just get the one more
Okay.
win first and then just stop playing. Then
Yeah.
you're fine.
You
Until,
got 21
until you
days.
have to play more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got 21 days.
There you go.
Enjoy that limelight.
There you go.
Well, Winter, we'll see you in Seattle.
How about DSL?
No.
No.
You'll see
see Ben.
Merlini there.
You'll get
He's
Merlini.
going, but we're not.
Shake hands with the commissioner.
Well,
Only
we'll
the
have to-
commissioner.
I'll shake hands with the policeman. It's
Okay.
okay.
Okay, sounds good. It's always a pleasure, Winter. I'm sure we'll have you on again in the future. Best of luck going into Seattle, and I hope your coaching endeavors work out well for you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right,
Ciao.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Can
So-
you see us?
If he has the stream open, but no, where it's not a no direct feed for.
Don't
the camera
overthink
with
it, man.
Winter. Yeah,
Don't overthink it.
do just same thing. So we do have a surprised, unannounced guest coming on. Hopefully he's just about ready. But we're gonna have AC joining us to talk about his insight into the TI format. Of course, he is one of the invited casters, so we can talk about what his specific role will be, and he also wants to talk about D2L a little bit. So we'll get some insight into one of the other events.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
We're
excited. I had a
about
lot
to
of
dial him up now.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun talking to Aaron at the NA Hub. You know, we're old buddies, but it was nice to reconnect. So I'm excited.
Here comes that
Ready?
voice.
We calling him or
Let's get
No.
sexy voice on the line
Yes.
here.
I
Sexy
don't think he's ready.
voice.
he's not ready?
Give it a minute or so.
Oh God.
The voice takes a little to warm up.
So,
Look.
Lysander, how have you been enjoying your stay here in America?
Oh, America is a lot.
I really put you on the spot there.
Yeah, right. Oh, well, America is pretty good. It's free.
Yeah. How did you
Well-
enjoy the summit? I guess is maybe a more relevant question.
I'm actually happy I got to meet a lot of the pro players. You know, when they're behind the media, they always have different images constructed for them by their managers, their organizations. But I mean, they put Dandy to be a very fun guy, supposed to be a funny guy, and hey, it actually is true. You know, some of them you think, oh, it's just media masking their real form.
They're actually real people,
Yeah,
and they're actually
really
quite
fun people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a great game of Munchkin and stuff. So Havos is
Yeah.
really trolly, Dandy is trolly. Meet a lot of good players, but yeah, you know, it was a fun experience.
All
Chill.
right.
Well, I think his favorite thing was just getting to listen to DK. Roland really enjoyed that too. They just sit in
Yeah.
the room, DK as well as Vici, just sit in the room and see how the teams communicate. Cause
It's
Yeah.
the only time I actually am glad I know Chinese. So.
the only time. What's
Yeah.
so bad to know it?
Oh, in Singapore, people are not too keen on studying mother tongue, so English is
mother
more the
tongue.
thing. Yeah.
Ah.
All right. We'll talk more about the summit coming up in the next episode of In the Studio this Sunday, but I believe our buddy Aaron is ready to rock and roll. And do we have him on the horn, or are we dialing now?
No, he's in the call right now.
Hello?
Aaron.
Aaron?
Hello.
Seems like a big name.
Greetings.
Greetings and
Greetings and
salutations.
salutations, Jinx.
Oh, God.
AC?
I think if
I think his mic is muted or something isn't
something
plugged in
I think it
properly.
might be on his end because we just had a Skype person in here. Unless,
Maybe.
yeah. I don't know.
Do you hear us, Aaron? We're getting
I can't see what Parker's
getting
doing
no
on that
audio from
computer
you.
over there.
having a little convo with.
That's not your
Aaron.
business, man. Don't worry about it.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there we
we
go.
are.
Hello.
All right. Yeah. So we're kind of building the studio out here from from HyperX. So obviously a switch was on the wrong thing, but Conrad came over and fixed it. So
Yo.
we're good to go.
Good work, Conrad.
Well,
Yes.
what's left unsaid here is that Conrad was the reason it wasn't working to begin with. So.
Exactly. Exactly.
Poor Conrad. So what's up, Aaron? How's it going?
It's going well, man. Down here in LA again, and it's funny. Like I was kind of tallying it up between the qualifier hub and coming back down here for D2L over the last like 40 days. I've literally spent more time in LA than I have in San Francisco, even though I live and work in San Francisco. So, but yeah, down here, not too far from you guys. We're getting set up for the D2L Western Challenge playoffs. We're going to be broadcasting from. Honestly, it's a pretty phenomenal setup they have down here in HyperX's new offices. They built out this, for lack of a better way to put it, it's like a LAN center, basically, where they work with a lot of teams across a variety of games, Dota, League, etc. They bring teams in, let them boot camp here, let them hang out here, get input and work with them. And it's really an awesome esports facility they've built because this is like the middle of their office. It's not like this is someplace they built just for that purpose. Just in the middle of their normal office, they have this awesome esports area. And,
So there's some guy there at HyperX that secretly hates you guys because he now doesn't have a desk, is what you're saying.
No, it is huge. Like I tweeted a couple of pictures yesterday, actually, but it is pretty big. I actually can give you guys a video feed if you want it. I didn't turn it on because I didn't know if you would want to.
I
like
think
it.
By all
we're
means.
equipped to handle that.
Yeah.
We've got the technology.
We have the power.
There you go. You should be able to see me now, hopefully.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Woo.
Looking beautiful as ever, buddy.
Yep, you can see behind us all kinds of very cool lighting and certainly some of the most unbelievably powerful machines you've ever seen, especially in terms of RAM. And here goes Conrad behind us. He's
Oh hey there. This guy.
Let me ask you, Aaron, are the teams actually playing from there? What's the
No,
deal with
no.
the setup?
Well, the Western Challenge was kind of a scale back from previous seasons of D2L for obvious reasons. Same reason MLG ended up dropping their Dota coverage. There just isn't time between TI, ESL, and the Summit and everything else. There just wasn't time realistically to be able to get even 2, let alone 4, 6 teams to a LAN location. So we decided to scale it back, but we're trying to do as best we can to still deliver a high-quality product. So it's just going to be me, Conrad, and Trouf they're going to be working out of here. HyperX, obviously the lead sponsor for the D2L, and they really just wanted to show this off because they have made a huge commitment. I mean, it's the joke is the real winner of DreamHack was HyperX because every player in the grand finals was wearing the HyperX tag. But not only are they sponsoring good teams, they're sponsoring a lot of teams that no matter what, I mean, they're throwing a lot of money and support behind esports, and they really wanted to show through our broadcast coming up starting tomorrow actually that they're committed to helping in a variety of ways, not just giving not just signing checks and having the HyperX tag worn, but building facilities like this where they can actually have players come in, they can get direct input, they can work with them on a day-to-day basis. And a lot of teams, especially leading up to big lands like TI, look for boot camp locations, and they kind of envision this as being a great location for that. So it's a really cool environment to be in, and a little something different from our studio in San Francisco. So hopefully everyone else will enjoy it as much as we are.
And is this the area that EG was boot camping in prior to the summit?
Yep, absolutely. EG was boot camping out of here. They've had a few other teams in. I'm not sure the specifics. I won't say one way or the other because I don't want to say the wrong thing. But EG was definitely here, and they took care of them, worked with them. They do a great job. Many times they cater food in for them, and they give them these awesome places to just come in and work and just shut the door basically and just be gamers. And I wish you could see the rest of it. They've got a big lounge area. If you want to have downtime from gaming, because everyone knows, I mean, if you're a professional gamer, you still need downtime. Nonetheless, they've actually got a nice big flat screen and a lounge area off next to the wall where they can sit and just play Xbox or PlayStation or whatever else. So it's really nice here.
Where do we sign up, Aaron?
Yeah.
Resumes, I'm sure, could be submitted.
I'll sell out, dude.
Oh, is that calling me a sellout? Is that how it works?
No problem.
Hey, I've got somewhere around here. I've got my HyperX T-shirt. Yeah, it's fair enough.
So this event, along with ESL, is those are the last two major Western events leading up to TI, and it should be
all the Western teams have to play, I guess.
Yeah, there's there's maybe some smaller online cups or tournaments going on.
D2CL still going on.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which actually is a decent prize pool, but it's not nearly as big as it was for their previous season because Compendium, TI, all that stuff.
So which teams you guys actually have in the playoffs for D2L this season?
It's going to be Roxkiss, Fnatic, Na'Vi, and EG. Those are our four. Oh, actually, we have six, and I want to double check. Because, and yes, to answer the question, by the way, Rox is going to be playing. That's something that's been coming up a lot. This, to the best of my knowledge, this will actually be Roxkiss's last appearance in their current form. They will be disbanding. They've announced that already. But they're going to go ahead and finish out our season, and we really appreciate that, being, just good guys. And even though things didn't go the way they wanted with the qualifiers and everything, and they're decided to all go their own ways, whichever way they want to go, they're still going to play in the format they played through the qualifiers in our tournament. But tomorrow it's going to be Cloud9 that's leading off against Roxkiss to start, then Na'Vi and Fanatics after that. And then we have our two bye teams, the top two finishers in the group stage, which were Empire and Evil Geniuses.
Oh, very exciting.
Predictions, Aaron? Who do you think is going to take it?
That's tough, man. I mean, like Rox is just one of those teams. Like Cloud9, obviously, they come in with a head of momentum. EG underperformed at Dream League, and there's really no other way to say it. But, Na'Vi, I don't know. Like, there's so many pluses and minuses to all these teams. Cloud9 looked great and pushed Alliance to 5. I mean, they have to come in, I think, one of the favorites, if not the favorite. EG, up until Dream League, would have been the favorite, but coming off of that, they are going to be back in, a more comfortable, I guess, environment, being able to play from home and all that. So I don't know what shape they'll be in, but I would imagine they're going to be a top contender. I'm really interested to see how Fnatic's going to end up performing because, they're a team that whenever they're together and whenever they just really gel as 5, there aren't a whole lot of teams that are as good as they are just because of the experience, the time they've spent together as a team, and this is major tune-up time for them, getting ready for TI. I think they're boot camping as well, so I think they should all be in the same location. I could be wrong about that.
They're boot camping in London.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. I was thinking it was about that time for them.
It's such an awful place to boot camp. London has like the worst internet ever for
really.
Yeah.
I've never been.
I mean, I guess they have some decent business
Probably
connections,
fine just
but
to Europe, I guess.
yeah.
And it's bloody expensive. It's just an
Yeah.
expensive city. Real estate, food, all
That
of
is
it.
where Fnatic has their headquarters, though, is in
Yes,
London.
that's
So
true.
that's
I'm
probably
sure
the main
they're
reason.
accommodated, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
All right.
But yeah, Na'Vi. I mean, honestly, every one of these teams, I think, we want to see just from a spectator's point of view, and I to a certain extent, that's all casters are, is not even enlightened, but overblown spectators who just yell a whole lot about it. But I want to see how Cloud9's going to look coming off of their loss at DreamHack. It was a great performance, but nonetheless, they looked really good. I really want to see how all of these teams are shaping up and how, like, honestly, whenever I look at what to expect, I think we're a sizable tournament. We did scale back this season, but our prize pool is up to, after contributions, 65,000, I think, something like that. So there's definitely real money at stake. But I think a lot of teams are really going to be pushing themselves, and maybe in the earlier stages, since it is double elimination, we might see some creative stuff come out, because this is a major tune-up leading up to, as you mentioned, ESL, and of course the big stage in Seattle. So yeah, like prediction-wise, I think it's going to be volatile. It's one of the first tournaments in a while where I have a hard time identifying anyone that I would say is a clear favorite, because I can give you a plus and a minus for both.
You have to pick one team, Aaron.
No
you have to
sitting
pick
defense.
one team.
I'll pick two. I'll go Cloud9 EG.
Okay, we've got you on the on the record now. In that order?
Yeah. Probably, yeah. I think I got Cloud9. Like, they're just one
He's
of those
a
teams.
fan.
I love. I mean, obviously, like, EG looks so good, but they did underperform at Dream League. I don't think that's going to be a major trend. I don't think they've been figured out. A lot of people have kind of talked about that. Oh, if people figured out EG, I don't think that's the case at all. I just think sometimes, you know, it's a big stage, it's a big land, it's travel, and a lot of other things. They're all going to be together at their own boot camp. They're boot camping as well. So I really like their chances. I think Cloud9 is really peaking at the right time. They've been kind of overlooked in a lot of ways. I feel like they were always in the mix in every tournament they were a part of during the group stages. I mean, like, there was a stretch, I want to say 2 or 3 months ago, where you looked and they were involved in like 3 or 4 big tournaments, including our own, and in every single one of them they were top 2, if not they were top 3, if not top 2. And I just think they're a strong competitor in any field they enter. Navi's kind of a big question mark to me right now. It is getting towards tournament time, so I have no doubt they're going to buckle up and really get back in form. But they're going to have to show that to me before I'm just going to jump on board that train.
All right. Well, Aaron, thank you so much for joining us to share a little insight into D2L. It starts tomorrow, so we'll be watching, and, well, hopefully thousands of others will be watching from across the globe.
Twitch.tv/D2L, guys. Check it out.
Yep. Thanks so much, guys. We appreciate it, and I love what you guys doing. We've been watching the show while we set up today.
Awesome. Glad to hear
Thanks,
it.
Aaron.
Glad we could be part of your procrastination.
Always. Always.
Take care.
You too.
That wraps up episode 11 of In the Studio, guys. We will have a more official episode coming up this Sunday. We'll have an interview guest lined up, and we're going to talk more news. This was another TI special. It's been a while since we've done an official episode, so we're going to cover kind of like the last 2.5 weeks worth of news. There's been some roster changes, some interesting results, and we're going to get into some power rankings coming up this Sunday. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining us. BTS signing off.
Much love and Kappa.